Toyota has sent shockwaves through the auto and energy industries with a breakthrough that many believed was still years away. Solid-state batteries are finally ready for the next generation of electric vehicles. These are no longer just lab prototypes or sketches on paper. Trial production has already begun in Aichi, Japan, and the company is moving quickly toward mass manufacturing. For a long time, analysts, investors, and even Detroit automakers thought Toyota had fallen behind Tesla and Chinese rivals. But this move isn't just progress, it's a game-changing strike that could redefine the entire playing field. What stunned both engineers and financial experts is how mature the product already is. After more than 18 months of real-world testing on prototypes, Toyota's solid-state batteries have consistently delivered close to 1,000 miles of mixed-condition driving range, and in ideal situations they stretch beyond 1,200 miles on a single charge. And the charging time? Just 5 minutes for a full charge, faster than filling up a gas tank. Even more surprising, these batteries don't rely on cobalt or nickel, two controversial materials with unstable supply chains and heavy environmental costs. Instead, Toyota has developed an entirely new chemistry that is cleaner, easier to produce, and potentially the key to ending lithium-ion's 30-year reign. The real technical leap lies in the electrolyte. Instead of flammable liquid, Toyota has engineered a proprietary ceramic polymer matrix that remains stable under extreme conditions. This makes the battery not only safer, but nearly doubles the energy density compared to today's best lithium-ion packs, around 450 watt-hours per kilogram versus 250. That means vehicles can be lighter, more compact, and yet travel far further. Engineers even integrated the battery into the car's structural frame, boosting crash safety and body rigidity while transforming the battery pack from a dead weight box into a smart, load-bearing component. On the inside, the anode is infused with graphene to completely eliminate dendrites. They nature the metallic spikes that have plagued earlier battery designs with failures and fire risks. Testing shows these batteries endure more than 2,500 charge cycles while losing only about 8% of capacity. That equates to well over 1 million miles of driving without significant range loss. Equally important, the cells stay cool even under ultra-fast charging, removing the need for bulky and expensive cooling systems that current EVs rely on. Toyota has also unveiled a bold plan for infrastructure, the Hypercharge A55 network. These next-gen charging stations push out up to 2.2 megawatts through liquid-cooled cables, delivering a full recharge in under 5 minutes. To protect the grid, each station houses its own large solid-state storage pack, slowly drawing power from the grid and then releasing it in bursts when cars plug in, a smart battery grid hybrid model that experts believe could set a new global standard. On the manufacturing side, Toyota is aiming for full vertical integration. At the Motomachi plant, 2 pilot lines already produce about 250,000 battery packs per year with a yield rate of 91%, far above the industry's 70% average. A dedicated gigafactory in Thailand is under construction solely for solid-state production, with no carryover from lithium-ion tech. Meanwhile, Toyota's partnership with Panasonic in Nagoya further strengthens output capacity. By 2027, the company plans for 80% of components to be sourced domestically or from trusted allies, reducing dependence on regions like Congo or Indonesia. This is as much a geopolitical strategy as a technological one, positioning Toyota as a sovereign energy superpower. And the vision extends far beyond cars. Starting in 2026, Toyota intends to roll out solid-state storage systems for homes. These units are lighter, run cooler, cost 20% less to install, and last twice as long as current solutions. For households with solar power, they can hold nearly 2 full days of energy instead of just 1, making off-grid living far more realistic. The same technology is also being tested for drones, small aircraft, and even container ships, hinting at a future where it could reshape the entire transportation sector. To prove viability, Toyota secretly deployed 50 disguised prototype vehicles across Japan, North America, and Europe. These cars operated in harsh climates and real-world conditions, averaging about 958 miles per charge, solid proof backing Toyota's bold claims. The first production vehicle, called the Toyota X1, has already been teased. It's a compact model priced under $30,000, delivering more than 1,200 miles of real-world range with 5-minute charging. Despite being 28% lighter than the RAV4, it's stronger, safer, and more powerful. Toyota expects it could even dethrone the Corolla as the best-selling car in company history, with mass production beginning in Thailand by 2026. The ripple effects on the industry have been immediate and dramatic. Traditional battery makers are in panic, auto stocks shed billions, and several EV startups saw investors pull out. Panasonic has doubled down with Toyota, CATL scrambled into emergency meetings, GM paused its Ultium program to reassess patents, and Volkswagen admitted its roadmap suddenly looks outdated. Toyota hasn't just pulled ahead by a few years, they may have stretched the gap to 6 or 7. In just 3 days, the market erased $46 billion in EV and battery stock value, signaling an inevitable wave of restructuring across the sector. At this point, Toyota is no longer just an automaker. They are positioning themselves as a global energy powerhouse. By solving range anxiety, fast charging, fire safety, and ethical sourcing all at once, Toyota is rewriting the rules of mobility and energy. This could be the dawn of a new era where electric cars are no longer a compromise. They are the standard, irreversible future. From an economic standpoint, this breakthrough is far more than just a technological race. It signals a shift in power across the entire automotive and energy value chain. In the past, Chinese companies like KTL and BYD held the upper hand thanks to their massive lithium-ion supply networks. Now Toyota has chosen a different path, sidestepping that bottleneck with an entirely new technology. Because these solid-state batteries use less than 5% lithium and completely eliminate cobalt and nickel, the global commodities markets are already shaken. Prices for cobalt and nickel, which had soared on electric vehicle demand, could tumble if Toyota's technology becomes the new standard. That would spell serious trouble for resource-dependent economies such as Congo and Indonesia, while industrial powerhouses would stand to benefit. Toyota has been even more strategic by embracing a vertically integrated model, manufacturing everything from the anode to the charging infrastructure, even building out its hypercharge stations. This not only drives down costs, but also shields the company from supply chain disruptions. In a world increasingly strained by geopolitical tensions, securing materials and domestic production could turn Toyota into Japan's energy armor, a safeguard for a nation long anxious about its energy security. At the same time, it sends a clear warning to the United States and Europe. Unless they adapt quickly, they risk falling many years behind in the post-lithium era. On the social side, Toyota's solid-state batteries could solve many of the problems that have haunted electric vehicles. Concerns over fires, overheating accidents, or child labor in African cobalt mines may soon fade away. Consumers who once hesitated now face an irresistible choice. Cars that are cheaper, lighter, travel twice as far, charge faster than fueling with gasoline, and are significantly safer. Psychological barriers like range anxiety and charging anxiety, deeply ingrained in customer mindsets, may vanish within the next decade. Environmentally, this step forward could deliver the strongest push yet in the fight against climate change. With electric vehicles becoming both affordable and practical, the transition away from gasoline cars may accelerate far faster than predicted. Beyond that, Toyota's expansion of solid-state batteries into residential and industrial energy storage will make renewable power, often unstable because of reliance on sun and wind, far more reliable. Remote communities, small islands, or polar regions that struggle with stable electricity could become 100% renewable. The image of a village in Alaska or the Pacific charging its storage system in 2 hours of sunlight and powering itself for 2 days is no longer science fiction. This leap is on par with the arrival of cheap solar panels. The market impact has been nothing short of seismic. In just 3 days, nearly $50 billion in value evaporated from electric vehicle and battery companies. Startups betting on silicon anodes or sodium ion suddenly lost their footing as investors realized Toyota holds a technology that is superior and ready for commercialization. Many of these smaller firms could face buyouts or collapse entirely, pointing toward an industry-wide consolidation, a shakeout reminiscent of the dot-com boom and bust of the early 2000s. In contrast, Toyota stock could be seen as a new defensive asset, not merely as a car company, but as a global energy giant. Rivals, of course, are not sitting quietly. CATL, the Chinese battery titan, immediately convened emergency meetings to fast-track its own solid-state plans. GM has been forced to halt its Ultium project while reviewing Toyota's patents, and Volkswagen openly admitted that its roadmap now looks obsolete. The technological gap is no longer measured in years, but in product generations. Many experts estimate Toyota has pulled ahead by 6 to 7 years, an eternity in such a brutally competitive industry. Perhaps the most fascinating move is how Toyota has positioned its first product, the Toyota X1. A compact car powered entirely by solid-state batteries will be priced under $30,000. Rather than debuting in the premium segment dominated by Tesla and Lucid, Toyota is targeting the mass market straight away, aiming to create the new Corolla for the electric age. A car that travels more than 1,200 miles, charges in 5 minutes, and costs the same as a gasoline vehicle is almost certain to become iconic. If successful, the X1 could outsell any model in Toyota's history, transforming the company from the world's largest automaker into a powerhouse of technology, energy, and mobility. Meanwhile, Toyota's expansion into aviation and shipping is equally disruptive. High-altitude drones, small aircraft, and even container ships are ideal applications for solid-state batteries thanks to their high energy density and lightweight. If the vision of long-haul electric planes or zero-emission cargo ships becomes reality, the impact on global transport will be enormous, cutting greenhouse gases from one of the largest sources. This is not just a technical advance, but a leap in human civilization. Interestingly, Toyota did not unveil this with a flashy press conference or livestream. Instead, the announcement took place quietly at a closed-door gathering in Toyota City, limited to executives, investors, and top engineers. It was both a way to protect intellectual property and a sign of confidence. Toyota believes the products themselves will speak louder once they hit the market. The slogan "Beyond Lithium" captures it perfectly. Toyota isn't merely upgrading EVs, they are rewriting the rules of energy and mobility. Looking back, it's clear Toyota has been quietly following its own path, patiently researching while the rest of the world rushed headlong into lithium-ion. Many once mocked them as slow or rigid, but in hindsight, this was a long-game strategy. By waiting and investing at the right moment, Toyota turned supposed backwardness into a dramatic leapfrog. It's a powerful lesson in vision and perseverance. In technology, being first doesn't always mean being the winner. Once the media hype settles, the real question becomes, what risks lie ahead for Toyota and for the world as we enter the solid-state battery era? First, while the promise is enormous, scaling up mass production remains a monumental challenge. That 91% yield rate at Toyota's Motomachi pilot line is certainly impressive, but scaling to millions of battery packs every year requires absolute perfection across every step. Even the tiniest flaw in the ceramic polymer material could ruin an entire batch. History reminds us that lithium-ion technology also needed nearly a decade to achieve stable, large-scale output, and solid-state batteries may face similar hurdles. Second, the cost factor. Toyota has promised production expenses will drop by 40% compared to lithium-ion packs, but it will take time before prices fall enough for mainstream adoption. At first, these batteries might still cost more than expected, forcing Toyota to absorb some of that burden just to spark market momentum. Competitors could seize this temporary weakness by offering cheaper electric vehicles, especially in emerging markets. Another layer of risk comes from patents and regulation. If Toyota holds on too tightly to its intellectual property, antitrust lawsuits could emerge, particularly in the United States and Europe, where regulators are sensitive to monopolistic control. On the flip side, if Toyota is pressured to license the technology more broadly, it may lose its exclusive advantage and give rivals a faster way to catch up. Striking the balance between profit, influence, and legal exposure will be complicated. Geopolitically, the technology could reshape the global balance of energy power. Oil-heavy economies like Saudi Arabia or Russia may see fossil fuel markets shrink faster than they anticipated. Meanwhile, countries that built leverage through lithium-ion dominance, such as China, could lose strategic ground. If Japan, through Toyotas, becomes the hub of solid-state battery production, its economic and diplomatic standing would be fundamentally altered. For a nation that has depended on imported energy for decades, Japan could, for the first time, emerge as an indirect exporter of clean energy. That would ripple across U.S.-Japan relations, Japan-China dynamics, and the architecture of global trade itself. Still, the picture is not entirely rosy. If Toyota becomes the new energy giant, risks of overconcentration and technology monopolies could surface. Humanity has already lived through the OPEC oil shocks of the 1970s, when a small group of producers controlled the world's petroleum supply. A similar OPEC of batteries is not unthinkable if only a handful of companies dominate solid-state technology. That said, the optimistic scenario remains stronger. If Toyota and competitors ramp up output, competition will drive innovation, lower prices, and push this tech into the mainstream. Within 10 to 15 years, we may see not just cars, but planes, ships, long-haul trucks, and even motorcycles running on solid-state batteries. Hypercharge stations could replace gas pumps, making refueling with electricity as fast and convenient as filling a tank. This shift could erase the psychological divide between EVs and combustion cars, making electric mobility the unquestioned norm. On an even larger scale, once this technology is integrated into grid-level storage, entire cities powered 100% by renewable energy become possible. Coal and gas plants, currently among the largest sources of emissions, would steadily fade away. Nations could become far more energy independent, reducing geopolitical tension around oil and natural gas. If realized, this would reshape not just the auto industry, but the very structure of the global economy. Culturally and socially, Toyota's achievement could also redefine how people perceive innovation itself. In a world that glorifies Silicon Valley's move fast and break things, Toyota chose the quiet, patient path, appearing slow but steadily building strength. This story could become proof that patience and long-term vision sometimes matter more than speed. That lesson extends beyond automobiles to fields like artificial intelligence or nuclear energy. Of course, the numbers still need to stand the test of reality. Can those 1,200 miles of range, 5-minute charging times, and 2,500 charge-discharge cycles truly hold up when millions of people use these cars daily? Every technology has had its golden numbers in the lab, only to be tested in the real world. But even if the figures come down, say 900 miles instead of 1,200, or 7 minutes instead of 5, it would still be a leap far beyond anything electric vehicles can deliver today. In the end, what Toyota has introduced is more than just a new kind of battery. It's the end of decades of compromise. No longer must consumers choose between range and price, between charging speed and safety, or between performance and the ethics of mining. Toyota has shown it is possible to have your cake and eat it too, a rare turning point in the history of technology. As the world steps into the beyond lithium era, we may look back on the year 2026 as the dawn of a revolution, not only in the auto industry, but in the way humanity produces, stores, and consumes energy. And 50 years from now, Toyota may be remembered not just as the world's biggest car maker, but as the company that rewrote the rules of the global energy civilization. So, what part of this vision excites you most? If you believe Toyota's solid-state batteries will truly dominate the market by 2026, drop a 1 in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you'd like to keep exploring, click the video on screen or head to our channel page. See you there.